Aixa Wilson, come on up.
Another event plug, 28th of this month is Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. Men walking in high heels around downtown to bring awareness to domestic violence and that sort of thing. So man up, get some high heels, and let's get out there on the Saturday the 28th. Typically I like to speak extemporaneously, but I've written some things down. We'll see how this goes. And I think we're all Democrats basically, so we're all love the environment, love education, all that kind of stuff. Let's just get that out of the way. My name is Aixa Wilson, and I ask for your vote on May the 8th for County Commission in District 1. And now let me convince you of that. I ran in the primary for U.S. House in 2010, and I deliberated a long time about running for Congress or running for Commission in 2012. Ultimately, I declined to run for Congress this year, too much money, redistricting, all that kind of stuff. But I decided to run for commissioner when we confirmed that the change would be to smaller districts rather than running at large campaigns, and that when Commissioner Stanley announced his retirement. I announced my candidacy after Brownie. I think you announced like the day after Commissioner Stanley said he was going to retire, but I'm not running in reaction to Brownie or in reaction to anyone else. In fact, I thank Holly and Brownie for their service to our community, and I'm glad Tracy and Keith have joined the primary as well. Much like the Army, much like I joined the Army, I'm running to be a commissioner because I like to give back to my community, I like to serve and participate in my government. I have no experience as a political elected official, but no one has experience as an elected official prior to being elected. And indeed, 4 of the new commissioners will be elected this year, and most of the candidates have no experience as elected officials previously. I have no record as an official because I've not had the chance to be an elected official, and similar to most of our candidates. So unfortunately, I can't give you some long list of achievements that I've made. I think this is a positive situation because it means more people have an interest in participating in their government, and it leads to fresh thinking. The beauty of our government system is that we can plug in new people without much problem, and we should groom new people for elected office to constantly generate fresh ideas, to strengthen our community, to reduce perceptions of cronyism and elitism, and to create a strong set of Democratic Party candidates for the future. I know I can do the job. I would be wasting your time if I didn't think I could, especially with guidance from our other commissioners, county employees, and especially you, the constituents. The learning curve will be steep. I'm a quick study, and I have great energy when focused on tasks that benefit people around me. And I function very well in team environments. I have many ideas about how we might continue to improve our community and our governing practices, and I will suggest some of these ideas to people during the campaign, and if elected, while I'm on the commission. But I do not proceed with a particular agenda. Some might perceive this, that I lack principles or convictions. Nothing could be further from the truth. Rather, I acknowledge that I will be one member of a governing body who must work together. I acknowledge the potential increased tensions of commissioners representing districts. I acknowledge the further possible tension created by city officials becoming county officials in a representation by district framework. I acknowledge that we will very likely have both parties represented on the next board, and that we must transcend partisanship in order to propel Buncombe County to a successful future. In this potentially caustic, divisive, and dysfunctional environment, I will maintain democratic ideals, and I have a clean slate as far as public perception is concerned. The messenger can sometimes get in the way of the message, and that will not be the case with me. I maintain an open and inquisitive mind about issues. I will work in good faith with other commissioners, elected officials, government personnel, and constituents. I am confident about our future. I acknowledge that our community has certain strengths and challenges. Among our strengths are our environment and our industriousness, and both must be nurtured. Among our challenges is that we are a small market. We cannot be early adopters of new technologies as much as we'd like to see them for energy efficiency or whatever. We don't have the size or the purchasing power to bring new technologies to scale and reduce their production costs. For example, something that is more rarely used, like a new type of engine, we couldn't necessarily, as a government or even as a community, move the needle on that to create economies of scale for that. We'd have to wait for the U.S. government, New York, somebody else to do that. However, with something small like the light bulbs that Brownie was mentioning, you know, those are small items that we can purchase enough of to help bring those to scale, and those are really good ideas. With that said, we might be able to create, develop, and produce some of these new technologies locally and bring them to scale by selling them globally. I cannot predict which technologies will be the best, most efficient, or most lucrative, so I leave that to the marketplace, whether it's in the fields of energy, manufacturing, agricultural, studies, whatever. However, we can foster an environment of innovation and government efficiency that helps our local talent to thrive and prosper. Ultimately, we must understand what government can do and what government cannot do, as well as what government should and should not do. I hope to be a part of that process as one of your next commissioners. Again, I ask you for your vote on May the 8th. Thank you.